Hey Reddit, I'm putting this out there because I've been through a living nightmare, but I've come out the other side stronger, wiser, and with a profound sense of justice. This isn't just about a breakup, it's about a calculated, cruel deception that nearly cost me everything, and how I fought back. If you've ever felt like you were being used, this one's for you. I'm Ryan, 29M. I'm a union electrician, and I've worked my butt off to build a stable life. I make good money, around $85,000 a year with overtime, and I own my own place. I've always been a pretty straightforward guy, honest, hardworking, and I believed in building a future based on trust and mutual respect. For nearly 3 years, I thought I had found that future with Jessica, 27F. She worked at a nail salon, and while her income wasn't as high as mine, I never cared. We had fun, we laughed, and she seemed to genuinely care about me. We talked about getting married, starting a family. It felt real. Then, about 6 months ago, Jessica announced she was pregnant. My world shifted. I was shocked, a little scared, but mostly, I was incredibly excited. A baby. Our baby. I immediately did what I thought was the right thing. I proposed. I got down on one knee, presented her with a ring, and asked her to marry me. Her reaction, it wasn't what I expected. She said yes, of course, but it was subdued. Less joy, more a quiet, almost relieved, acceptance. A tiny red flag, I now realize, that I chose to ignore in my excitement and sense of responsibility. I was going to be a father, a husband. I immediately took on the financial burden. I covered all her prenatal care appointments, started buying baby clothes, furniture, everything she said we needed. I was all in, blissfully unaware of the deceit brewing beneath the surface. One Tuesday afternoon, I finished a job early. Instead of heading straight home, I decided to surprise Jessica. I picked up some groceries, ingredients for her favorite dinner, and a small bouquet of flowers. I walked into our apartment, a smile on my face, ready to make her day. As I stepped inside, I heard voices. Jessica's, and her sister, Chloe's, 29F, coming from the living room. They didn't know I was home. I paused, about to announce myself, when I heard something that froze me in my tracks. Honestly, Jess, Chloe was saying, her voice a low murmur, I still can't believe you pulled this off. The look on Ryan's face when you told him you were pregnant. Priceless. Jessica giggled. I know, right? He proposed immediately. Total chump. Now I've got the ring, the baby on the way, and a stable income source. He's literally an ATM with legs. My blood ran cold. ATM with legs? My fiancé? But seriously, Chloe continued, are you worried about Derek? He still thinks it's his, right? Jessica scoffed. Derek's an idiot. He's so wrapped up in his perfect little family, he won't suspect a thing. He thinks I'm just his side piece he sees when his wife is out of town. He has no idea this baby is actually his. I told him I was on birth control. And I told Ryan I was on birth control. Neither of them knows I stopped taking it months ago. The words hit me like a physical blow. Derek? Her ex-boyfriend, a guy she occasionally mentioned, always insisting they were just old friends. The baby was his? She had lied about birth control? She had manipulated both of us? I stood there, hidden, listening as they casually discussed their elaborate scheme. Jessica had deliberately gotten pregnant by Michael, Derek, in the original prompt, but I'll use Michael to avoid confusion with the previous story's characters, her ex, while still dating me. She had lied to both of us about contraception. Her plan was to trap me with the pregnancy, secure my financial stability, and continue her affair with Michael, who was completely unaware that he was the actual father of the child she was carrying. The shock, the betrayal, the sheer audacity of her deception left me frozen. My hands clenched around the grocery bags, my knuckles white. The flowers lay forgotten on the floor. My world, my future, shattered into a million pieces. I didn't confront them then. I couldn't. I needed to be calm, calculated. I needed proof. I slipped out of the apartment as quietly as I had entered, my mind racing. I spent the next few days in a fog of disbelief and cold, hard determination. I went into full detective mode. First, I started meticulously documenting everything. Every dollar I had spent on Jessica since the pregnancy announcement, prenatal vitamins, doctor's appointments, baby clothes, nursery furniture, even the extra groceries I bought for her cravings. I created a detailed spreadsheet, backing it up with receipts and bank statements. Then, I focused on Michael. I remembered Jessica mentioning his name, vaguely, as a colleague she occasionally ran into. I found his social media profiles. He was married to Sophia. They had 2 young kids. A perfect, unsuspecting family. I felt a pang of sympathy for Sophia, who was clearly as much a victim as I was. I dug deeper. I found months of messages between Jessica and Michael on an old tablet of hers that she rarely used, which I still had access to. The messages confirmed everything: their ongoing affair, their secret meetings, their discussions about a future together, and her explicit plans to pin the pregnancy on me while Michael remained oblivious. She had even sent him sonogram pictures, claiming they were just for fun. It was sickening. I knew I needed legal advice. I called my Uncle Mark, a lawyer specializing in family law. I laid out the entire, unbelievable story, providing him with the documentation, the messages, everything. Uncle Mark listened, his face grim. "Ryan," he said, "what she's doing is called paternity fraud. It's serious. And you need to get a prenatal paternity test. Immediately." He explained the legal implications. If I was proven not to be the father, I would have no legal obligation for child support. He also advised me on how to get the test done discreetly. I arranged for a non-invasive prenatal paternity test, using a sample from Jessica, obtained subtly, under the guise of prenatal vitamins. The waiting period was agonizing. The results came back a week later. My worst fears confirmed. I was not the biological father of the child. Michael was. Armed with the undeniable truth, I planned my confrontation. I chose a restaurant that held sentimental value for Jessica and me, the place where we had our first date, where I had first realized I was falling in love with her. It was a calculated move. I wanted her to feel the full weight of her betrayal in a place that represented everything she had destroyed. I invited Jessica for dinner. She arrived, looking confused, probably expecting me to apologize for some imagined slight. We ordered, and I let her ramble about her day, about the baby, about our wedding plans. I kept my face neutral. Then, when the food arrived, I put down my fork. "Jessica," I said, my voice calm, "we need to talk." Her smile faltered. "What about, Ryan?" "About the baby," I said, pulling out a sealed envelope. "And about Michael." Her eyes widened. She visibly flinched. "What about Michael? What are you talking about?" I slid the envelope across the table. "This is a prenatal paternity test. It confirms that I am not the father of your child. Michael is." Her facade crumbled instantly. Her face went from pale to beet red. Her eyes darted around the restaurant, full of panic. She didn't deny it. Instead, she tried to manipulate. "Ryan. No. How could you? It doesn't matter who the biological father is. You're the one who proposed. You're the one who's been here. You're the one who's going to be the father. We can still be a family. We can still get married. Just don't tell Michael." Her words were desperate, but completely devoid of remorse. She wasn't sorry for betraying me, she was sorry she got caught. She still wanted the ATM with legs. "No, Jessica," I said, my voice rising, "I'm not going to be a father to a child that isn't mine, knowing you manipulated me into this. And I'm certainly not going to marry a liar and a cheat." She started to cry, loud, theatrical sobs, trying to draw attention. "You're abandoning me. You're abandoning your baby. You're a monster." The restaurant, once quiet, was now filled with curious stares. People were looking, whispering. I stood up, my chair scraping loudly. "You want a public scene, Jessica? Fine. Let's have one." I leaned across the table, my voice clear and loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "You lied to me. You lied to Michael. You deliberately got pregnant by another man while engaged to me, and you planned to scam me for child support. I know everything. And I'm done." I threw the engagement ring onto the table, where it clattered loudly next to her uneaten plate. "The wedding is off. Don't contact me again." I walked out, leaving her sobbing in the middle of the restaurant, the ring glittering on the table. I called the wedding venue from my car, cancelled everything, losing my deposit, but feeling a profound sense of liberation. The impending marriage, built on lies, was finally off. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Jessica, true to form, immediately started threatening me with child support claims, demanding I pay for my baby. She went on a social media rampage, painting me as a heartless deadbeat father who abandoned his pregnant fiancée. Mutual friends, unaware of the full truth, started sending me angry messages. But I was prepared. My Uncle Mark had already advised me. I had all the evidence, the paternity test, the messages, the detailed financial records. I let my lawyer handle all communication. When her lawyer contacted mine, demanding child support, my lawyer simply provided the paternity test results. The demand stopped cold. Then, I instructed my lawyer to pursue a defamation lawsuit against Jessica for her social media attacks. She had publicly slandered my name, my reputation, and my character. I had screenshots of every single post. Meanwhile, I turned my attention to Michael. I found Sophia, his wife, on social media. I sent her a discreet, anonymous message, telling her I had information about her husband. We met. I showed her the messages between Michael and Jessica, the sonogram pictures, the entire sordid affair. Sophia was devastated, but also incredibly grateful. She had been suspicious of Michael's behavior for months. Together, Sophia and I coordinated our legal strategies. She filed for divorce from Michael, citing infidelity. I provided her lawyer with all the evidence I had, which helped her secure a favorable divorce settlement. Michael, a mid-level executive, also faced consequences at work. Sophia, armed with irrefutable proof of his unethical conduct, using company time/resources for the affair, etc., quietly sent it to his HR department. Within weeks, Michael was fired from his job. His perfect little life, built on lies, was crumbling. As the legal battles unfolded, I found myself thriving. The weight of Jessica's deceit, the financial burden, the emotional manipulation, it was all gone. I received a promotion at work, recognizing my dedication and hard work. With my increased income and newfound freedom, I moved into a new, larger home, a place that truly felt like mine. I embraced a healthier lifestyle, hitting the gym, focusing on my well-being. I also started dating again, cautiously at first. I met Sarah, a kind, intelligent woman who was an architect. She valued honesty, communication, and treated me with genuine respect. She was everything Jessica wasn't. Our relationship blossomed, built on a foundation of trust and mutual appreciation. Jessica, on the other hand, faced the full consequences of her actions. She lost her job at the nail salon due to the scandal and her public outbursts. Her relationship with Michael, once exposed, quickly deteriorated into bitter recriminations. She was left as a single mother, struggling financially, with a ruined reputation and no one to blame but herself. My defamation case against her resulted in a significant settlement in my favor, providing me with financial relief and a profound sense of justice. She had tried to make me pay, and instead, she ended up paying me. Today, I am happier, more secure, and more at peace than I have ever been. I have a thriving career, a beautiful home, and a loving, honest relationship with Sarah. As for Jessica and Michael, their lives are a testament to the consequences of deception.